Hello VC, how's everybody? John Taket here, back to Greece, another video, another one, vinyl update. A big problem of mine is that I'm buying lots of records, and I was in Berlin the last days and I had an incredible flea market weekend. I mean, I was very lucky finding some jazz original copies of great releases, but I was thinking what I have to show to you, and I believe that it's better if I'm gonna show you some records that I have already listened to them, so you know I can give you my personal opinion on the music and the record. So I'm gonna mix a little bit the finds of last week's flea market in Berlin, because I was there. Now I'm back in Greece, and I'm gonna show you some records that I also bought here in Greece. Basically reissues. I've got some originals in the in the bunch, but I will try to keep it as short as possible. First of all, let me put the music a little bit down. Sorry. Yeah, and because I'm having issues with my internet connection, I will need some time to do my contest, my 200 subs contest. First of all, the background record, absolutely masterpiece, highly recommended. Jazz record, African blend jazz, one of my favorite African jazz records. Highly recommended, Ahmed Abdul Malik. This is Sounds of Africa, out on New Jazz. Of course, this is the reissue. What can I say about this? 6 tracks on the record. If you like percussions and African elements combined with jazz, this is an absolutely masterpiece, really. I mean, I can't describe it. Just grab this record. Somebody have showed it in the VC. I'm not sure if it was Jump Sound or not sure, but 100% highly recommended record. You need to check this out. Right now I'm listening to this. Before that I was listening to this Blue Note record by Grant Green, Solid. I bought this today in record store day in my local record store, because they have 20% off, 25% off of all of the records because of the day. And I also bought some Blue Note records. Yeah, this is Solid with Grant Green, Joey Henderson, James Spalding, McCoy Tyner and Elvin Jones on drums. This is the reissue. I'm not gonna say this is a mind-blowing album, but it was an okay listen. Maybe I was not in the right mood to listen to jazz, I really don't know, but in any case, a nice record, Blue Note find. You know I'm collecting them like crazy. Yeah, this one I found it in the flea market in Berlin last week, and one of my favorite jazz records of all time. Highly recommended, Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. This is Drum Suite. This is a late reissue. I believe that you can find this copy also in MoFi edition. It's pretty expensive, but 100% worth it if you want to buy it. This is not that copy. This is Drum Suite, my favorite, one of my favorite jazz records. Percussive to hell, Latin jazz in the first side of Art Blakey, and on the other side some Jazz Messengers track. Side Day is an absolute favorite of mine and mind-blowing, really highly recommended. If you don't know this record and you like Latin percussive jazz, I mean, come on, you really can't go wrong with that. Yeah. Listen to the music in the background. amazing stuff, really. Yeah. Continuing, I'm gonna show you an electronic record, not exactly electronic, but one of the best releases of, is it 2014? Yeah, for sure. I accidentally browsed it online through a record shop and buy it. This is highly recommended record by D-Day 1 Dialogue with Life. This is a limited edition ultra clear vinyl. You can only find this edition and it's limited and it's highly recommended. I'm not gonna say it's trip hop, I'm not gonna say it's electronic. It's a mixture between trip hop, electronic with jazzy elements, lots of samples on it, but it's 100% dope record. I mean, give it a try, and I'm sure you're gonna like this masterpiece. Really, one of the best records that I bought the last months, maybe. Continuing, I also found this reissue in a record shop yesterday. A classic one. I bought it. I needed it in my collection. I'm not a big collector of psychedelic and rock and stuff like that, but this is a must-have record from a band called Love from USA. Forever Changes. Yeah, what can I say about this record? It was a very good one. Really enjoyed it yesterday. Not really my cup of tea, but great one. I don't think I need to speak a lot about this record because I believe it's pretty well known. Actually, Rolling Stones charted it in the top 50 albums of all time, so I don't need to say a lot of things. I'm gonna show you some more records in random order, and I'm gonna keep my record store day finds for the end of the video. First copy, Impulse. I found it in the flea market in Berlin last week, and this is Milt Jackson Statements. Great record, really nice. Gatefold, Impulse. The needle groove was in the same kind of vibe, like me collecting lots of Impulse. I found this in front of me and I couldn't leave it behind. I did a small research about it. It's not very expensive to buy it in US. If you want to buy it in Europe, it's a little bit harder, but I found it in front of me, and musically it was okay. Yeah, pretty nice record. I mean, I was not mind blown or something, but it was a very cool record. Milt Jackson is a vibraphonist, and some really easy listening jazz, metalophone, vibraphone stuff. This is the Impulse label, first copy of it. Pretty happy. At least I think it was the first copy. 99% sure. But in any case, it's not very easy for me to find these first copies of Impulse records. Most of the time I'm finding reissues. So yeah, it was a good buy. I'm gonna continue with, let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna continue with some soul, a little bit of disco album, which I was really satisfied actually. This was an offer in a record shop here in Greece, and I almost bought it blindly. But when I was back home, I was really surprised about it, and I gave it 2 or 3 spins, and it was very nice record actually, from Leroy Hudson, Hudson #2. If you like soul, funk, disco, a nice combination of things, I can highly recommend you this record. Pretty good, one of the best soul records that I bought the last months for sure. Along with this, it was a holy grail of mine because, as you know, I'm collecting most of the stuff, if not all of the stuff, of Roy Ayers, which is one of my favorite artists, and this was a holy grail of mine. I found it in a very decent price and grabbed it. This is an 80s release, an 80s album by Roy Ayers called Drive, out on Ichiban Records. This is the Mexican copy of the release, because I believe there are only two versions of this, the American and the Mexican. This is the Mexican one, and musically, of course, you can hear the 80s sound here, which is most of the time something that I really don't like, but in this case Roy Ayers was fantastic. 100% favorite and holy grail record for mine, and it was not very easy actually to find in the last year or so. It was a bit pricey, but there is a little bit disco on it, but I mean, give it a try. If you like Roy Ayers, don't expect to listen to his early jazz stuff or his soul stuff, but for a reason, one of my favorite 80s records, if not the favorite 80s record of all time, my personal opinion. Cheers! Ice cold espresso. Yeah, I'm gonna try to be a little bit quick now. Reissue of João Gilberto. Yeah, João Gilberto is a Brazilian artist. Also, I'm collecting lots of his stuff. I also bought one more by him, but I didn't listen to it yet. I listened to this one, and it was, yeah, like calm guitar bossa nova record. Not my favorite record of him for sure, but it was something different, hard to explain due to his standards. Yeah, the Clint reissue, as you can see. Some nice Brazilian stuff. Along with this one, cheap find, the high-lows happen to bossa nova. Yeah, you know, a fun bossa nova record, nothing special, but you know, I'm a big fan of bossa nova, so only the records, only the covers of the records, and you know, it gives me a thrill, and I'm collecting them. A cadet release, a Latin release, quite interesting one by Ramsey Lewis, going Latin. This was a nice release, a fun listen, especially when you need, you know, some summertime mood, tropical. First copy of Cadet, very cheap in the US, not very cheap in Europe, so if you are living in the US and you kind of like this stuff, yeah, I can recommend it to you. On Cadet Records, original copy, yeah. Why not? I mean, I'm buying lots of records and sometimes I didn't like them very much, but on the other hand, I don't want to get rid of them, at least so far till now. Maybe, you know, later, some months later, I will try to get rid of them. Yeah, I've got one more Latin find, the reissue of Ray Barretto, Para Bailar. This is 100% Latin. This is, I mean, like, you know, I think this is his first record, his first album, I'm not sure. Yeah, truly classic. If you are a Latin fan, this is a classic record, which I can recommend to you. Let me flip the record, give me a second. Really like this record actually, by Ahmed Abdul Malik. It's playing in the background while we're doing this video. I'm not gonna show you lots of more, I'm gonna show you one more and then my record store finds. This is a Blue Note release. Blue Mitchell, Bantu Village, something like that. This is 100% happiness. I mean, funky jazz to the bone. If you want some summaries and some really funky, happy jazz, this is a record that you should definitely check out. This is the reissue on Blue Note. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything more. Like that. Very good record. Very good record. Now, my 3 record store finds. I also shopped those one today. Yeah, I grabbed the Rudolf and Dorfmeister record, which is not easy to find, and in my local record store they had like 10 copies of it, and I grabbed one. Anyway, record store day. First of all, I'm gonna say that those are my only record store day purchases. I'm not a big fan of an idea of record store day. I mean, you know, I'm not the maniac that I'm gonna wait in lines, and because for me almost every day is a record store day. I know it sounds a little bit cliche, but you know, I'm not crazy with the whole thing, just like that. But today I saw 3 releases, 3 records. I saw the 100 vinyl reissue of Doors. I also had the Greek copy of it, but yeah, you know, why not? You really can't go wrong with those classic records. I also shopped this, the picture disc edition of Sex Pistols, Never Mind the Bollocks, 100% classic record, but I mean, it was fine. I also had this in my rock section, but record store day, some people are going crazy. I'm not like that, but I shopped 3 records that I already have it. That's what I did, I just realized it. Also this. I've got the reissue of Herbie Hancock's Maiden Voyage. This is the record store day edition, 180 grammer vinyl on green vinyl, yes. Out on Blue Note. This is a classic Blue Note release, highly recommended record. Yeah, I mean, I don't need to speak a lot about it. I believe that as I am a Blue Note collector, I believe that having this on the record store edition on grey vinyl will be, you know, a little bit special for me, so I grabbed it. Yeah, as I told you, I also shopped these records. I'm not gonna show any more on this video. I also have those ones that I didn't show them to you, plus those ones. And I'm waiting for some records that I managed to ship from Berlin. Here I will try to, you know, fill in the expedits. Here I shipped around 400 records from Berlin, and I have like, you know, 80 records to show you in my next video. VC, thank you for watching Record Store Day. Today I'm not sure if I will be able to upload this video today, but this video is shoot during the Record Store Day. As I told you, I don't have very good internet connection here, you know, and I'm still waiting for them to come and fix them, because I just moved here in this place. And yeah, thank you for watching. Please comment below. The interaction between us is something that you know, makes you feel that you are not crazy, like spending lots of money on records. I'm gonna think of a contest idea, because I'm a little bit behind with all those movings and stuff like that, and I'm gonna keep you updated. A nice contest idea with a nice prize for you guys. Love you all. Cheers.